Let's talk about working with your co-stars, William Shatner.
Bill Shatner. As I say, during the television series, he was a lot of fun. I mean, he kept it light and laughing, and to be sure, every shot was set up so that he'd be in the foreground, and he just automatically blocked it that way. And as I said before, the directors just went along with it. I mean, Bill was the money player, and the lead of the show, but he was civil. I never get the sense that he wanted to be any of the supporting actors' pals. He enjoyed hanging out with Leonard Nimoy and DeForest Kelley.
Okay. Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard was always very quiet, taciturn, very much, it seemed, internalized. It took years to learn that he was a man with a strong social conscience, that he had very specific religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, that he would never make a show of his loyalty, but that if called upon, you could count on him. So that was really nice to know.
DeForest Kelley.
Forrest was great. He was a lot of fun. He was the one actor on this set who could move very, very easily between the two leads and the supporting actors. So he got along with Bill and Leonard very well. At the same time, he got along with us on the same level, and we talked on the phone. We had good times together.
James Doohan.
James was kind of on the volatile side. Got angry easily, but just as quickly would become very warm and generous and friendly guy by nature. But easy to irritate, but a friendly guy by nature. We had some personal conversations that I didn't think would ever reach that level of personalness as they did. It's a little shocking, but we traded some interesting stories.
Nichelle Nichols.
Nichelle was always great. She was very charming and very friendly from the start. She was very friendly. I think, like all of us, she wanted more to do. It may have been a little bit more apparent in her than it was in George, for example, or me. But I don't think she was any more ambitious. It's just that she was a little more confident in expressing it. Always a good friend. I always liked her.
George Takei.
George is a good guy. I had no idea that he harbored the feelings he did about Bill, throughout the years we shot. I thought that I was the one who was most upset with Shatner, because for some peculiar reason, none of us really traded stories about him. None of us said, what he did today, or, boy, that guy really pisses me off. It was only later, much later, that I realized how angry he had made George. But George did something that was truly to be admired, and I only became aware of, almost in retrospect. He was dealt a bad hand frequently. For one thing, it was his own, not fault, but it was his own responsibility that he did Green Berets. And Green Berets went over, as a feature film that went over by 6 weeks. So the 6 weeks that he was on Green Berets, he would have been on the show and doing many of the lines that I did, because I was brought in to take over for him because he wasn't there. I never knew that it upset him. I never knew that he was upset with me. which I thought showed a considerable amount of professionalism. I just wondered, you can't help but extrapolate and wonder, if I was in his place, would I harbor any animosity? And would I harbor any vitriol towards somebody who replaced me? And I'm not sure it's a good thing or a bad thing that I never saw it. I never saw any of that anger, because he talks about it. He writes about it, that he was very upset with me because I had taken over his part. And then in time he came to like me. On the movies, he got screwed on a couple of occasions. He did not have very much to do in the Wrath of Khan, or on The Voyage Home. Both pictures, the others of us had more to do as supporting actors. I say the others, I'm talking about the supporting actors. It goes without saying that Leonard and DeForest, had important roles. George was really, really dealt badly with on both Wrath of Khan and The Voyage Home. Shatner insisted that a scene where George was promoted and was on screen was struck from the movie. And in Star Trek IV, we're all on the streets of San Francisco, a scene where he's supposed to meet some little Asian child who it turns out is his great-great-great-grandfather. That never was shot because the little kid was a pain in the ass, and no, I don't want to do it. No, I don't want to do it. And by the time he was willing to do it, the sun had gone down, and we never got back there to shoot it. Incidentally, that scene was my idea. The idea that it was his great-great-grandchild. Anyway, but he handled it so well. He didn't pout and he didn't grouse. And I thought, wow, that's a really professional attitude. And I know that I could not have been counted on to be as professional as he was, and that I would have bitched and moaned about it.